For some reason, we as men forget that the Great Commission is actually God's commission for my life. Like in terms of like when we think about, even when we share prayer requests, for example, in a group, and brothers share prayer requests, and it's fine. Like we should share prayer requests about finding a new job or advancing in a career. That's fine. But for some reason, what I rarely hear is, Lord, brothers, here's a prayer request. Pray for me. I know I'm going through a job transition, but can you ask God to show me how I can serve Him in my career and my workplace? Because that's God's calling on my life. Like I rarely hear that. Conversely, I think of a good example. Dr. Peter Golan, who's come 5 or 6 years ago. He's come to do like a mental health workshop. If you remember, some of you were there 5 to 6 years ago. He's retired now, a retired physician. He was actually my family doctor before he retired, so I know him very closely. And he knows me in the other way as my family doctor. But he arranged his practice so that he evangelized so many of his patients in a way that, because of course, you got to be very careful in how you do it, right? But like he would somehow build those relationships, show so much love to his patients without conflicting with professionalism. And yet many people end up coming to my previous church where I met Dr. Golan at Willenden Church, and he would go and be in evangelism and gospel class with him, and many of them came to faith. Like I'm like, wow, oh my goodness, like what a man of God to imitate. Seeing that God's calling on his life is not just as a physician, but as a Christian physician to bear witness to advance the Great Commission. For some reason, another aspect is, I think what I struggle with sometimes is, for some reason, again, when we're like sharing prayer requests with each other as men of God, like for some reason, there are some, but very few Christian men would ask for prayer like this. Let's start with those that, for all men, even without family. They would rarely ask, hey brothers, pray for me, because I'm building a mentorship relationship with a young guy. And I want to be able to be a good example to him, encourage him in the Lord, encourage him to read the Bible, teach him how to read the Bible, teach him how to follow Jesus, take responsibility. Can you pray for me that I would be like Jesus in his character, like Jesus' character, and guide him towards trusting Jesus more? Because I want to build into this young guy, because I want to build into a young generation. Very few Christian men that I've heard ever share such a prayer request. Help me to build up God's people for the next generation. Or for those with family, another one is, for some reason, it doesn't come as naturally. And I'm not trying to say, and I'm not trying to make anyone here feel bad, but I've noticed this like across our city. Very few Christian men that have children, for some reason, they don't ask for prayer like this. Can you pray for me that I would be a good example of faith to my children? That Jesus would be in the center of my life. That my children would know that this is the book that guides my life. That Jesus is my everything. That in every part of my life, every part of our family, we're going to worship Jesus, not only on a Sunday, but every part of our family. Can you pray for me? I'm really struggling with my Bible reading with my family worship. I'm really struggling. Can you pray for me? Because I